notice a lot of racism, a lot of hate from this group. And it's difficult to explain because when you try to explain this, the first thing the cult is going to do is they're going to attack you. They're going to say, you gave up your birthright. You denied the Most High. You denied your faith. These are the things they're going to say. I'm still with the Most High. I still follow the scriptures, still keep the commandments. I recognize the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Messiah, and so forth. At the same time, I don't identify as a Hebrew Israelite because the group, it has a movement behind it. And it took me a while to figure it out, but I had to experience a lot of hate and a lot of evil. And this is something that you can only understand if you've been through it. It's like explaining it is one way. At the same time, if you've been through this, you would know. I'm fully aware of bloodline, who the people of the Most High is. I get all of that. I know this already. At the same time, identifying as a Hebrew Israelite in 2025 is something I no longer do. And the reason for that is it's a cult that have been established. It's not about the people, and we truly do want to see the kingdom come, and we want our people to unite. It's not about that. It's about hate, violence, racism, calling people the devil. This is typical what you get in the Hebrew Israelite community. They look at the white man, they call him the devil. And, it's something that I noticed when I first came into the truth. It's like a lot of these Hebrew Israelite camps would always do that. And I'm like, why so much emphasis on the white man being the devil? Yet in the black community, we're killing one another. So it's like, I just don't get it. It's like, why do we focus on stuff that really is not empowering our people? Instead, we should be focusing on the evildoers in the community and getting rid of those devils. But we're not doing it. Instead, we get people to join this organization, this movement, by creating an enemy. Now, we understand the whole transatlantic slave trade. But at the same time, if you read the scriptures, it didn't say that the white man put you in slavery. It says that the Most High did. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he put the biblical Israelites in slavery, not the white man. He gave power to the other nations to put us in chains because we rebelled against his commandments. So if the children of Israel are to come back to the Most High, the first thing we have to acknowledge is that it's not the white man who put us in slavery. It's the Most High, because we rebelled against his law, statutes, and commandments. But the Hebrew Israelite community, they don't understand that. They focus on race, and it becomes very difficult to communicate with anybody who is not black because we look at them automatically as racist. Now, of course, there are racists in the world. There are white people that are racist that don't like black people. I get that. At the same time, there are black people in the world that don't like white people. Matter of fact, all ethnic groups of people don't like each other. At the same time, none of that is helping us to get to the kingdom. Knowing who is racist or who don't like each other, that's not getting us to the kingdom. We have to obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And what I notice about the Israelite community is they don't practice what the Bible say with their own people. Like, the Messiah, he taught us to love one another. He taught us to pray for one another. We have to acknowledge each other as brothers and sisters in the truth. And I noticed that in the Hebrew community, They don't do this.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. Salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Coming at you with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. And I got this clip from the elder brother, Elder Manat Zakbar. Not sure what I'm entitled this lesson, but here we go again. This guy Ringo TV. All right, weak, very docile, very effeminate man. All right, and the Lord is not dealing with this guy, man. You know, he spoke on hate, violence, and racism, you know, and calling out the so-called white man as the devil. Well, the scriptures told us to set our face against Mount Seir, you know, to prophesy against this place. Matter of fact, let's begin now. Because you see, the Lord is not dealing with this guy. He has no understanding. Clearly, he has no understanding. Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. As you see the header, prophesy against Mount Seir. Alright, Mount Seir is interchangeable with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. His government here is in America, Babylon the Great. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Right. Speak against this place, you know. Call out the wickedness. Call out the abomination. That's about identifying the evil one, man. That man of sin, you know. And you know, you had this guy say, well, that's Ezekiel. The Lord told Ezekiel to do that. No. All the prophets of old did this. Matter of fact, real quick, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 28, right? And verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied, see, against many countries and against great kingdoms. Ain't this a great kingdom? Of course it is. Of war and of evil and of pestilence. See that? So yeah, that's what the prophets of old and the prophets in this time is going to be doing, man. They're going to identify the wicked and prophesy against it. Okay, it says, Ezekiel 35 and verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Yeah, why is the Lord going to stretch out his hand against Edom, all right, against Esau, the so-called white man, and make it most desolate? Let's continue. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Why? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Yeah, that's where the hate and the violence come from, man. Esau, Edom. Okay? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and we went into that word hatred in the Wednesday midweek camp. All right, it says that word perpetual is of ancient and long time and future hate, man. So this hate has been going on for a long time. Remember, Esau said in his heart he's going to slay his brother. So that mindset, all right, has extended throughout all his generations. Okay? When we were coming out of Egypt and we tried to pass through the land and they wouldn't let us pass through the land. All right? The Lord swore to have indignation, righteous anger with war with Amalek from generation to generation, man. So what the hell this guy talking about? You see? The spirit ain't dealing with him, man. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time when their iniquity had an end. See that? So you piled on, you know. You kicked us while we was down, you know. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So yeah, blood gonna pursue these damn devils, man. You know? And you got this fool, you know, going on and on about racism. You know? Don't worry about the so-called white man. Worry about the devil of our people. Man, shut the hell up. You weak, effeminate man. Okay? And hey man, when Esau get on your ass, then you gonna wonder then, man. Then you gonna know. You know? So you haven't experienced the things of 70 AD, you know, or coming over here in slave ships, you know, or getting your back whipped in the cotton fields, or being lynched and hung. Those things were taken from you as far as in reincarnation, man. This guy probably don't even believe in that, you know. But there's no remember of those former things. But you're going to remember this time of Jacob's trouble, when the Lord take the leash off Esau and he put his foot in your ass, you know. But yeah, he trying to say that we created an enemy. Nah, man. He's the enemy of Yahawashi. Just read Psalms 83, man. Matter of fact. I didn't have that on the list, but let's get it. You know? Yeah, the offenses of Esau extends throughout lifetimes. So how the hell you want to say for us not to speak against this damn devil? You know? See that? See the header? The Most High implored to confound his enemies. Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See that? They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, see that? Chiefly Esau, Edom, are the enemies of Yahawashi. And in turn, they the enemies of the Israelites. You fool. The Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, see that? The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, right? Scripture tell you that the Zidon, you know, have sold us to the Grecians, you know? Why this guy going on and on about the Most High put us in slavery? Yeah, the Lord told us if we broke his laws, he was going to send a nation from far, you know? And the scriptures tell us what nation have not had a part in our spoils, man. You know, that's in the Maccabees. So yeah, all nations, all right, has put us in captivity and whooped our ass. But Esau did it the worst, man. In those other captivities, we at least knew who we were according to the scriptures. But in this captivity, it was done overboard, man. And that's why the Lord gonna fuck you up, E. But this guy want to get Esau a pass. Well, the Lord ain't giving Esau a pass, man. Matter of fact, Amos, right, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Why? Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, see that? And he kept his wrath forever, see? So what the Lord gonna do, man? What is the Lord gonna do to Esau for that? But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. So yeah, and what Esau pitched his tent, the Lord gonna have war with them, man. They shall build, but I will throw down. But we're not supposed to speak against these damn devils, you know? It's crazy. You know? You're not supposed to identify who the wicked is, according to this guy. You know? And that's why, you know, we use this guy for cannon fodder, you know, for edification of the flock, you know, so they won't be deceived by this soft, weak ass nigga, man. And Salakia. But he's a bitch ass nigga, man. You know? On this caption for God for all nations. No, the Lord only loved one people. Okay? Even and on this side, it's going to be the elect who the Lord loves, because those are the ones who's going to dwell with wisdom. You know? He's talking about what our Lord Yahawashi said to love. And the Lord said he's going to pray for those. Matter of fact, see, this guy don't understand that, man. You know? I'm a little all over the place. We're going to get back to it. What is that, St. John 17? Is it? I pray for them. Right? See if we can make this blue letter. Red letter. Right, there we go. So you can see that it's the words of our Lord Yahawashi, man. Yep. St. John chapter 17. And let's get to the point, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. See that? So the Lord is not praying for the whole nation of Israel, you fool. Talking about love one another. The love come in when you rebuke it, man, and not suffer sin upon your brother. So what the hell this guy talking about, man? You know? Let's go to Sirach, chapter 27, and verse 24. I have hated many things, but nothing like him. Yeah, the wicked, the slanderer, right? For the Lord will hate him. See? So yeah, you're supposed to hate, you know? You're supposed to speak against your enemy, you know? Scripture tell you that, matter of fact, since we in Sirach, what is that? Yep, Sirach. Is it 25? Let's get that. I believe 25 and 7. Yep. So this makes us happy, man, when we seeing our enemy being taken down, you know? Sirach chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things where I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. See that? Why this fool talking about we creating the enemy. Nah, the enemy was already there. It's a perpetual hatred of old time, man. So the enemy was already established, you know? Now, this guy has no understanding, man. Because the Lord is going to require those things, man. The Lord, is, as we read in Amos, he's not getting away, you know? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. The thing which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. See? So the Lord is going to require all that blood that Esau has sown in the planet Earth, especially against the children of Israel, man. So what the hell this guy talking about? You know? Well, we see more than likely this guy that took a bag and been set up to spew his rhetoric that the Lord love all the nations and all this other bullshit that he's been saying, that we shouldn't speak against Esau and we should talk against the 2/3 of our people. Well, we do that, man. But guess what? The focus is on the enemy, the wicked that's running the planet, man. Okay? That's 1 Thessalonians, matter of fact. Is that 1 Thessalonians? Let's see. 2? 2 Thessalonians, Salakia. Let's get that real quick. Oh, man. Second Thessalonians chapter 2. And we're going to get right to the point. Alright? Oh, man. Yeah, let's get to the point. I don't want to make this too long. Second Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. Who's the wicked? Esau and the so-called white man. Alright? Pursuing the what? Malachi 1. You know? Yeah. This is the wicked. The border of wickedness emanates from Esau, Edom. And then shall that wicked be revealed. That's why the Lord says, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Right? Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's what you're seeing occur now through the prophets. Start with our head apostles and elders. This devil is being consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. See? Yeah. So the chronological order is identifying who the wicked is. Alright? Bringing up his wicked deeds. And then the judgment come, man. So what is this guy talking about? You know? You mentioned black. Well, we don't see skin color, bro. We know it's Edomites that have a melanin, man. I done ran across a couple of myself holding camp. So yeah, we don't mention no damn skin color, man. That's identified, you know. But for the most part, we go by the spirit, you know. And we can see that you are a black devil, you know, a deceiver, you know, a slanderer, you know, the one who acts the part of Satan. And we can plainly see that you don't have the spirit of Yahawashi upon you, man. You know? Yeah, let's get this and close it out. Like I said, I don't want it to be too long. Romans chapter 9 and verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. So it was all up to Yahawah. This is his movie, man. You can't tell who the Lord wants to be the antagonist and the protagonist, you know? You can't dictate how the Lord has this thing set up. So if he want Esau to be the wicked, you know, that's who Esau going to be. If he want the Israelites to be the righteous, guess what? The Israelites going to be the righteous. See? It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. See? So yeah, guess what? We're going to hate what the Lord hate. And we're going to love what the Lord love. See? What then shall we say? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him who willeth, nor of him who that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. See that? So yeah, who are you, Ringo TV? Who are you to question Yahawashi and how he has this thing set up and how he's running his program? You see? Yeah, so yeah, Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Till the next time, Shalom.